When Chelsea triggered the €34 million release for an 18-year-old winger from Palmeiras, the entire football internet burst out laughing. 34 million for a boy who's never played a single minute in Europe? Classic Chelsea chaos. They even had the comparisons preloaded.
Every time someone dared whisper his name in the same breath as Lamine Yamal, the response was instant mockery. Yamal had already won the Euros at 17, lifted trophies with Barcelona, humiliated full internationals in major finals. Estevao? Just another kid with slick edits and a price tag that made accountants weep. One was the finished article. The other was a risky lottery ticket dressed in blue.
From the moment he stepped into Chelsea blue, he wasn't phased, wasn't tentative. Instead, he struck like a meteor. Unexpected, explosive, and impossible to ignore. 17 matches in, he's producing with the swagger of a seasoned star. Decisive goals, intelligent movement, and an instinct for showing up exactly when the team needs him most. He scores late winners, thrives in Champions League nights, and treats pressure like oxygen. On the international stage, his output borders on surreal. A goal every 94 minutes for Brazil at youth level positions him statistically above Ronaldo Nazario and Neymar at the same stages of development. That's not just talent, that's trajectory. When he faced Barcelona, he wasn't merely good, he was dominant. He isolated defenders, turned them around, disrupted their structure, and forced them to respect every touch. These are not flashes of brilliance. These are signals of a player accelerating ahead of the curve. Chelsea know this. Brazil know this. The footballing world is starting to feel it.
Inside Chelsea, his development has been mapped with intent rather than improvisation. While he looks born to torment fullbacks on the right wing, the coaching vision goes beyond the sideline. The club believes he's far too influential to be confined to one flank. They want him drifting between lines, orchestrating attacks, attacking central spaces, dictating tempo, mirroring how elite forwards evolve into creative engines. Much like the Cole Palmer transformation, start out wide to master duels, then gradually shift into the nerve center of the pitch, Estevão is being shaped for something bigger than explosive winger.
His game is layered. The dribbling isn't showboating, it's structural damage. He uses it to pull center backs into uncomfortable spaces, to dismantle contact blocks, and to open lanes for teammates. His shot selection is purposeful, not hopeful. 2.9 attempts per 90, many from advantageous angles he engineers himself. And mentally, he's ice. Pressure doesn't shrink him, it sharpens him. Late winner against Liverpool? Taken with confidence. Champions League penalty? Buried calmly. Individual duel with Lamine Yamal? He didn't just match him, he overshadowed him.
Inside Chelsea, there's a quiet belief that Estevão is evolving into something far beyond an elite right-sided attacker. The plan isn't just to let him terrorize fullbacks, it's to eventually position him at the heart of Chelsea's imagination as a central creator capable of shaping entire matches. Right now, the club isn't concerned about positional clashes with players like Cole Palmer. When you potentially have two future top 10 players in the world, you adapt the structure, not the talent. Estevão's minutes are being managed deliberately, not withheld, and his growth is carefully calibrated rather than rushed. This development path is why rival teams are already uneasy. Chelsea aren't grooming a traditional winger. They're sculpting a multi-phased attacking engine. He's encouraged to drift inside, to take up pockets of space, to create overloads in the half space, and to function as a pressure breaker against defensive blocks. We saw the clearest expression of this evolution in his iconic goal against Barcelona. The first touch combination through midfield, the accelerating run beyond pressure, the confrontation with one of Europe's most promising defenders, and the improvised finish from an impossible angle. And this is where Enzo Maresca's methodology becomes relevant. Though the lineup labels him as a right winger, he spends much of his time operating in the inner lanes, combining with the right back and interior midfielder to create passing diamonds. This manipulation forces defenders into bad choices. Abandon the wing, track inside, step up, drop back. Every decision creates vulnerability. His heat map doesn't resemble a chalk-touching winger. It resembles a creative fulcrum drifting between the wing and midfield.
What separates Estevão from other young forwards is that nothing in his game feels impulsive. It all feels deliberate. His 3.7 successful take-ons per 90 aren't the result of flashy improvisation, but of targeted destruction. Every dribble is a calculated incision meant to unbalance defensive shapes, pull markers out of structure, and open dangerous corridors between lines. His efficiency carries into his creative output as well. 1.4 chances created per match, with combined expected goals plus assists approaching 1 per 90, the statistical profile of an attacker entering his prime, but he's only 18.
That maturity is echoed in his passing. His cutbacks from the half space consistently land in the path of runners. His switches of play stretch defenses horizontally. His through balls dissect compact back lines. And the fact that he executes this while maintaining 81% passing accuracy in a competition as unforgiving as the Champions League says everything about his decision-making. Then there is the finishing. Calm, unfazed, precise. Whether it's a pressure penalty against Ajax or a stoppage-time dagger versus Liverpool, Estevão has demonstrated a level of composure that feels abnormal at his age. He doesn't just step into big moments, he expects them.
But his influence isn't limited to the attacking third. His pressing is relentless, not energetic chaos, but strategic interruption. He stalks defenders, anticipates passing lanes, and forces mistakes. When he wins the ball high, the result is often immediate danger. His composure in one-on-one finishing situations, including that audacious chip over the Wolverhampton keeper, shows a confidence bordering on arrogance, the good kind. And when he arrives late into the box, he does so with the instincts of a natural striker, not a wide forward learning the role.
His final goal for Palmeiras against Chelsea remains the perfect snapshot of his attacking evolution. Starting on the periphery of the play, exploding into the box with raw acceleration, and detonating a violent finish from an impossible angle. It was conviction, timing, power. Everything that defines a future superstar distilled into a single moment. This is why pundits, scouts, and analysts keep repeating that line. He might very well be the best left-footed U20 player in world football.
And this is precisely why comparisons to Lamine Yamal increasingly feel reductive. Yamal is brilliant, no question, but Estevão isn't a shadow or alternative version of him. He's already a fully realized talent, with a ceiling that might not just match the best of his age group, but potentially surpass it. And if his curve continues at this rate, we're looking not at a prospect, but at the early rise of a generational attacker.
The future ahead of Estevão isn't simply promising, it's accelerating. His early Premier League data reads like a scouting fantasy. 475 minutes, 4 goals from 22 attempts, nearly 4 expected goals, 1 assist with 1.5 XA, 56 progressive carries, and 46 isolated 1v1 duels. He isn't just participating in Chelsea's attack, he's driving its most dangerous sequences. At 17, he shattered records at Palmeiras, matching output historically reserved for players with fully formed physiques, not a teenager barely 62 kilograms. His game was never fragile. Still, forcing a direct rivalry between him and Lamine Yamal misses the point. Yamal has already lived a much longer arc of elite exposure, pressure-filled knockout matches, international tournaments, domestic titles, decisive moments and finals. He has already matured within football's most demanding spotlight. Estevão's sample size is smaller, but that's exactly why his potential feels so alarming. He's producing Yamal-level influence with a fraction of the experience and time. Lamine Yamal and Estevão Willian aren't waiting to become the stars of tomorrow. They're already shaping football's present tense. And while Estevão's ceiling looks terrifying, the only thing currently limiting the full explosion of his talent is time on the pitch. Out of 16 total appearances for Chelsea this season, he's started just 7, and only 4 in the Premier League. Maresca's rotation isn't accidental. It's a deliberate orchestration of energy, minutes, and endurance for a squad expected to compete on multiple fronts after a draining summer that ended with Chelsea crowned world champions. Still, the phenomenon is happening in real time. Supporters have fallen in love with Estevão faster than the club can control the narrative.
Week after week, he brings the one thing defenders can't prepare for: pure improvisation. The ability to wrong foot a backline, not with strength, but with imagination. He's not just the next big Brazilian talent, he's the first of a new breed. The player Chelsea didn't just want, but desperately lacked. The Premier League doesn't realize it yet, but for the next decade, they will feel him in broken ankles, stunned crowds, and matches decided by a moment of audacity. For Estevão Willian, the sky isn't the limit. It's merely his launch pad.